What is up, people? You ready for Batman Spawn? Haven't had one of these since the 90s. Let's go. We start with the speech, and we see different panels of Batman and Spawn fighting. We see the similarities between the two, how they've always been fighting wars their whole lives. And here it seems that Spawn is talking about the fact that he has been covered in a symbiote, and he essentially explains his entire life. Spawn was told if he went and fought a Black Beast, Batman, then he would get his wife's soul back, so he went through the portals to find him. It is the night that Bruce Wayne's parents died, and he looks up at their paintings. Alfred comes by and talks to him, wanting to know how he's doing, how he is feeling about his life. And Bruce always says he's fine, and he doesn't know why. But it doesn't matter what day it is. The Batman goes out because evil doesn't wait. Commissioner Gordon has been getting weird readings from crime alleys, so Batman is sent to investigate. And then, in a glint of his eye, he sees his mother's pearls. A Court of Owls member appears, holding the mother's pearls, and as Batman tries to snatch them, the man fades away like a ghost, eventually telling him that there was something hidden inside of them, and that, when his parents died, Batman wasn't the only monster created that night. So Batman snatches away the pearls, breaking them. And like lightning, Spawn creaks out of the air with a sonic boom, kicking Batman. Batman fighting Spawn is comparable to him fighting someone like Superman. See? I told you, bastards. Batman also throws his batarangs at Spawn's face, thinks he's gonna hit him this time. Not yet, bro. Spawn continues to whoop on Batman. Let me tell you something, this fight isn't even close right now, and it isn't supposed to be. Spawn is literally one of the most powerful characters of all time. If you don't believe me, check my video where I explain it. Anyway, Spawn enters the dead zone where his powers essentially disappear. So he turns almost human, he turns powerless. Now that he's powerless, Batman starts to lay the beating on Spawn. And let me tell you something, Batman ain't messing around because Batman is a master of all martial arts, he's perfected every martial art on the planet, so obviously he'd have an advantage. But even without powers, Spawn still holds his own, which goes to show how skilled he is. Spawn has also fought angels who've lived for centuries. So, yeah, Spawn's pretty damn skilled. The Court of Owls is just watching. They're loving this fight. They want Spawn to win and they want someone to be their leader. Batman accidentally knocks Spawn out of the dead zone, but he's standing there because he knows Spawn won't come back in because he'll lose his powers. So they're kind of going back and forth. Batman's like, no, you come on my side. Then Spawn's like, no, don't be a bitch, come on my side. And then Batman says, who did I kill? And Spawn says, Wanda. So essentially Spawn thinks that Batman has Wanda's soul. Batman tells Spawn they need to talk about the situation that's happening here and why there's so much confusion. And then mere miles away, businessmen are talking together, wondering if the Batman's dead. The court wants to exploit how both Batman and Spawn have weaknesses, and they want Batman's soul to be destroyed, which Spawn could do. We get a cool moment where Batman's talking to Spawn in the Batcave about how there are different courts of owls in different dimensions. So Spawn has a court of owls in his dimension, and Batman has the ones that he's been dealing with. They also talk about their partners and soldiers, so Batman talks about the Bat family, and Spawn talks about the Scorched. He talks about his team, which is She-Spawn, Gunslinger Spawn, all those guys. Spawn tells Batman, yeah, being human in my world won't last too long, because the things I deal with, no matter how good you are, would tear you apart, which the things Spawn deals with are pretty OP, not gonna lie. But Batman says he knows people with powers too. And Spawn says, who? Like Superman, the one you call Man of Steel? We also get a cool nod to Hamburger Head Spawn, and the time where Batman threw a batarang in Spawn's face, and Spawn had to tie it up with the shoelace because he didn't have any of his powers left. You see, Spawn thinks all it takes is powers, raw power to beat your enemies. But Batman knows that's not all it takes. It takes intelligence as well, because, as we know, with enough prep time, Batman's pretty OP as well. After they gather some information, Spawn goes to meet with the Joker. This is pretty sick. I've wanted to see this happen for a while. And this is the version of the Joker where he cut his face off, so that's pretty awesome. Joker's talking a bunch of shit. He's telling Spawn how they're similar because Spawn kills people, and he even takes off his face, showing his hamburger face. So he's kind of taunting Spawn, and Spawn's getting pissed off. Joker gives them some info on the Court of Owls and says he's not working with them because he wants to destroy them too. Because, you know, they're approaching his turf, and he doesn't want anyone to kill the Batman besides him. So after they leave, Spawn has a ton of mini violators with him, and he says, don't you worry, they don't know what's gonna happen after the owls. Batman tells Spawn if he calls his wife's name, Wanda Blake, to be ready. Look at this shot, man, this is so badass. The court has come up with new plans. You see, they found a way to bring back Batman's mother, and they know that if he can do that, then he'll open the portals. But what they didn't know is Spawn has been listening in this entire time, and he tells them to come find them, and then he disappears, pissing off the Court of Owls assassin. In the alleys where they're waiting, the Court of Owls assassin sneaks up on Batman. Batman catches his claw, and then the Court of Owls member kicks him, telling him that without them, there would be no Batman. They turn on the floodlights and are revealed to be inside of Arkham Asylum. This Court of Owls assassin is talking a ton of trash right now. Since a dead zone was built under Arkham Asylum, Spawn is fighting powerless against this assassin. But he's doing pretty well once again, because, you know, Spawn doesn't mess. This assassin is fighting Spawn because he wants what's inside of Batman's mother's pearls. This assassin somehow even has fire powers, and he launches it at Spawn, sending him flying, and then he wants a fair fight, so he discards all of his weapons. The man tries to beat on Spawn, but Spawn launches him off, breaking his neck. The last owl is frenzied, so he's just shooting off all of his spikes and stuff like that. And then he aims at Batman with one last shot, and they go to cut the lights. But owl eyes are made for the dark, and the spike goes through Batman's chest. So you would think, pranked ya, Batman has green necroplasmic eyes, and he stabs through the owl. But this was just a decoy. Spawn shapeshifted into Batman, for all the prisoners to see, so that they would think, if they pushed Batman too far, that he would kill them. The assassin comes back to life, tackling Spawn into a brick wall. Spawn is still powerless by this point because he's still in a dead zone, so keep that in mind. The owl threatens to break Spawn's neck, but Batman says, go ahead, try it, but I'll release every single villain here in Arkham, and they'll tear you apart. That's why you'll never take over Gotham. Because the villains won't let you. Which is true, man. These villains are running around rampant, man. The assassin tries to threaten Batman with his mom's soul, but he knows his mother's soul is gone, and that she's dead. Then, Batman kicks him into Spawn, and Spawn grabs the assassin, teleporting him away forever. After Batman looks upon the pearl, it is cracked, and in another universe, Wanda stares out at the bat signal. She doesn't know what it means. Daniel Kilgore, a priest who also has a symbiote similar to Spawn's, goes up to Martha. So this is where their souls are. And the last shot we get is of the Violator saying his plans are going just as he wanted. And that, my friends, wraps up the Spawn and Batman 2022 crossover. Like the video if you enjoyed the video. If you didn't enjoy the video, don't be a pussy. Like the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.